Hey, this is George from Hampton's Horror, and today I will be talking about the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that came out this Friday. I've watched a few reviews on YouTube as well as read some articles online, checked out social media, and a majority of these reviews are from people that didn't really care for the film. There's a few reviews pointing out certain aspects of the film that were great, while overall they say the film wasn't that good. I myself found both good and bad things in the film. One thing mentioned in pretty much all the reviews I've seen is how unlikable the characters are. I myself don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I go into a movie like Texas Chainsaw Massacre waiting for Leatherface to do what he does best. And to see him go after these incredibly unlikable characters, to me, makes the film that much better. A few things the film, in my eyes, did very well was the lighting is beautiful, and the kills are very creative and very violent. And in a franchise like this, I think that's very important. There's a few themes they go over in this film that fit modern times, such as gentrification, where people all over the United States rent as well as housing is going up. Gun violence is mentioned, and cancel culture. I won't be talking about those three themes because this is a horror channel. You don't want to hear my political views, do you? With that being said, a few of the things to me that didn't add up in the film, and I actually saw in a few reviews, was with Leatherface. In the original 1974 film, in my opinion, Leatherface would be in his 40s. This film is supposed to take place roughly 50 years in the future. So that means Leatherface would be in his mid-90s. In this film, Leatherface is fast for a big guy such as myself, because let's be honest, Leatherface and myself have the same physique. But with the age as well, if this guy's 300 plus pounds and in his mid 90s, he's not running like that. So to me, that doesn't really add up. Does it take away from the film? Not really. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing the film. But another thing is, he's very bright in this film, or I wouldn't use the term bright, very cunning. He sets up traps for these people. There's a scene, this is a spoiler if you haven't watched it. There's a scene where he has the chainsaw going, and one of the characters goes to it thinking he's there, and then he pops out and tackles said character. That wouldn't happen if it was the Leatherface of the 1974 film. In the 1974 film, he is a very brutal, aggressive individual, but he's anything but witty. So that's another thing that makes the Leatherface of the 1974 film different from the Netflix film. Another spoiler, but it's pretty much seen in the trailer, is Sally, the final girl from the original film, played by a different actress because the original actress passed away, comes back to hunt Leatherface. And a lot of people have pointed out this is a copy of Halloween 2018 with Laurie Strode, which, yeah, it is. A lot of people tend to like Laurie Strode or Jamie Lee Curtis a lot more. Granted, Jamie Lee Curtis has been in a good amount of Halloween films. They were able to develop characteristics and a storyline of this individual over time. Sally, on the other hand, is in the original film, and that's it. So, of course, people are going to be drawn to Laurie Strode over Sally. However, I don't think that makes Sally any worse of a character. There's a few aspects where she is needed. Granted, they do make more films after this one. Another spoiler. When the character that survives the school shootings, whose name completely slipped my mind at the moment, at the end of the film picks up Sally's hat and the photo of the main characters from the original film in the van. I see that as a passing of the torch from Sally to the survivor. And at the end of the film, you have the one scene of Leatherface going back to the original home, or so it looks. So this, in my eyes, means there's definitely going to be more films after this. The film itself was only about, I think, with credits, 75 minutes. So they didn't have much to work with. But for the little time that the film was, I think it was decent. I didn't go into it expecting an amazing film. I went into the film just wanting to see Leatherface and him terrorize young adults, as he does in the films. And they delivered, in my eyes, as far as that goes. If you're watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for a Game of Thrones type storyline or something, I feel like it's the wrong film to be watching. You watch it for Leatherface. And with that, I think they did a great job. But there were certain things, like the age of Leatherface, how he moved around, his intellect, doesn't align with the original film at all. And going back to the unlikable characters, yes, they were very unlikable, but to me that made the film much better. I didn't have to invest in characters that I loved only to see them get killed 10 minutes into the film or whatever. Granted, it was 75 minutes or whatnot, but yeah, I think there were some good things and some bad things. If you like the original, I think you'll enjoy this. It definitely doesn't compare to the original whatsoever. Nothing has touched that and never will. But I think it is a lot better than some of the other ones. More specifically, the fourth one with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. I think McConaughey did a great job. I just think it was a terrible film. But that was pretty much my 2 cents on this film. And let me know what you think. I'd love some input. Maybe you love the film. Maybe you hated it. Maybe you think my opinion is wrong. I'd like to hear that too. Maybe I hit upon a few things that you agree with. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Let's open a dialogue. Hope you all who watch this are having a great night. It's about 8 p.m. in New York, and have a good one. Peace.